Kuzuzangpo, this is Bhutan This Week with Bimal Hadan. Welcome. Our top stories for the week. His Majesty the King's recent state visit to New Delhi as the chief guest of the Republic Day of India is considered yet another milestone in the annals of India-Bhutan friendship. Bhutan and India signed a memorandum of understanding formalizing an agreement to avail of standby credit facility of 4 billion rupees. Speaking at the meeting of the International Expert Working Group for the New Development Paradigm, Prime Minister Jimmy Waitanles said the time has never been more suitable for genuine change. His Majesty the King's recent state visit to the Indian capital of New Delhi as the chief guest of the Republic Day of India was yet another milestone in the annals of India-Bhutan friendship. It contributed to further enhancing the very close ties of understanding, trust and friendship between the two countries.
According to a joint press statement, His Majesty the King held delegation-level talks with the Prime Minister of India. The two sides held discussions on bilateral relations and exchanged views on regional and international issues. The two sides expressed satisfaction with the success and the mutual benefits derived from economic cooperation and agreed to further strengthen the partnership. The two sides reviewed the progress of the Government of India assisted projects and programs in the 10th Five-Year Plan. They also discussed the framework of Bhutan's 11th Five-Year Plan. They also reviewed the progress of the ongoing collaboration in the area of hydropower development and agreed to expedite the implementation of the 7 remaining projects in order to achieve the target of 10,000 megawatt by 2020. The Government of India reiterated its commitment to assist Bhutan in its socio-economic development efforts and in particular the 11th Five-Year Plan, which will begin from July this year. During the week-long visit, His Majesty met with President Pranab Mukherjee, who also hosted a banquet in honor of His Majesty. His Majesty King also met Vice President Mohammad H. Ansari, Prime Minister Dr. Manmohan Singh and Leader of the Opposition in the Lok Sabha, Sushma Swaraj. His Majesty also met the Chairperson of the United Progressive Alliance and the President of Indian National Congress, Sonia Gandhi, and the Vice President of the Indian National Congress, Rahul Gandhi. His Majesty thanked the government and the people of India for the invitation to join them in the Republic Day celebrations. He expressed appreciation for the warm and gracious hospitality extended to him, the Galtsin and the members of the Bhutanese delegation. Pema Suki for BBS News.
Bhutan and India signed a memorandum of understanding on 28 January, formalizing an agreement to avail of standby credit facility of 4 billion rupees. The agreement was signed by the Finance Minister Wangdi Norbu and India's Ambassador to Bhutan, VP Haran. The agreement is in keeping with Bhutanese government's request to Indian government to ease the rupee crunch. The Finance Minister Wangdi Norbu said the money would go a long way to meet the balance of payment with India. The world is in pursuit of a new development paradigm. The present global economic paradigm, many scholars and economists believe, has failed many a times and is becoming obsolete. The focus is now on gross national happiness. Many countries in the world have endorsed GNH as the next global development paradigm. The Prime Minister Jimmy Waitanles said the time has never been more ripe and ready for a genuine change. He was speaking at the meeting of the International Expert Working Group for the New Development Paradigm, which began in Thimphu on Wednesday.
During the opening remarks, Linchun Jigme Waitanles said the time has come to ponder on the new global economic paradigm that will move away from the current materialist obsession to a much broader and deeper view of human happiness and the well-being.
The first reason for my optimism is simply timing. The time has never been more ripe and ready for genuine change from our current materialist obsession to a much broader and deeper view of human happiness and the well-being of all life on earth. From our current alienation from nature and from each other to a return to our essential oneness with all life. from an economic structure founded on greed, competition, and profit to one based on sufficiency, cooperation, and fairness.
Lenchen said the unique partnership will help succeed in formulating a new development paradigm.
The partnership between your extraordinary knowledge and expertise and our own sovereign status as a member of the United Nations, I believe, will enable this initiative to succeed where efforts by greater scientists, active NGOs, and respective agencies have found it. But saying this is not to underestimate the challenges. Ours is a daunting undertaking. We in Bhutan do run major risks in defying vested interests and sticking our neck way out. And we are not so naive as to presume that we can successfully pursue a separate way of life.
The Prime Minister said Bhutan has learned the hard way that cannot be a GNH bubble in a GDP world, and that Bhutan cannot build a GNH society in one corner of the Himalayas surrounded by a world obsessed with accumulation of material wealth at all costs.
Our collective endeavor is to present to the United Nations a new development paradigm to promote human happiness and the well-being of all life forms within a sustainable environment, to be considered for implementation in the post-MDG 2015 world.
Lenchen said the Bhutanese government has followed a strategy of discreet but methodical advancement of the idea before the international community.
This is not to say that the idea of a paradigm shift will find easy acceptance by the world community. On the contrary, the resistance to any change from the conventional GDP-led development model continues to be as unyielding. Therefore, while our objective must remain the same, and that is to propose a new development paradigm, it would be expedient not to use the term new development paradigm in our report.
The high-level panel of the UN Secretary-General is working in parallel with the group. The document will be submitted to the United Nations General Assembly in September this year, and a final detailed proposal for a new paradigm to be submitted to the UN in 2014. Karmat Singh for BBS News.
The Foreign Affairs Minister Ugin Sring was conferred the Friends of the Liberation War honour by the Government of People's Republic of Bangladesh in the capital on Thursday. The honour was awarded in recognition of Limpo's support and contribution to Bangladesh Independence War of 1971. It was presented by the Ambassador of Bangladesh to Bhutan, Imtiaz Ahmed, on behalf of the Government of Bangladesh. At the award ceremony, Limpo said he was very honoured and delighted to receive the award from the Bangladesh government. The award comprised of a certificate and a replica of the National Mausoleum, which is a monument built in the honor of the people who participated in the independence war in the then East Pakistan. A similar award was conferred to former Secretary of Ministry of Economic Affairs, Dashokar Madoji, in 2012 in Dhaka. The Kidu Mobile Unit, initiated by His Majesty the King, comprising of Bhutanese medical specialist, dentist, a gynecologist and health workers, is in Samsi Zongkhak providing medical services to the needy. The 8th round of Bhutan and India's meeting on border management and security ended on Wednesday. The two-day meeting saw extensive deliberation on how to address issues related to security along the borders for the mutual benefits of the two countries. The Indian government also assured to provide more training slots for the Bhutanese armed personnel. According to India's Secretary of Border Management, the discussions of the two-day meeting were fruitful. The Bhutanese delegation is being led by the Secretary of Ministry of Home and Cultural Affairs. The Indian delegation is being led by the Secretary of Border Management under the Home Affairs Ministry of the Government of India. The two countries' meeting on border management and security was first held in 2004.
Since then, this forum has proved to be extremely useful in resolving all border and security-related concerns and in strengthening our cooperation in these very important areas.
The Secretary of Border Management from the Ministry of Home Affairs in India said small issues might come up occasionally, but it is important that these issues are well addressed at the local level.
There have been instances of abductions from southern Bhutan by miscreants from Bhutan and India. And in one of such instances, one of the NDFB cadres was also killed. Issues have also been raised by some Indian workers in Phuntsholing area about the problems being faced by them in continuation of their stay in Bhutan. I'm sure these issues are only temporary and no issue is beyond solution.
The Secretary also informed the delegations that the Indian government is in the process of improving border infrastructure. This includes roads and other means of communication. Bhutan and India share boundaries of about 700 kilometers. The people of two countries enjoy visa-free regime and free trade across the border. Pemal Harden for BBS News. The Prime Minister Jimmy Waitila has said he is disappointed that Samrup Dzongkhar Dzongkhag is lagging behind other Dzongkhags in terms of developmental activities. Lenchen said this after a presentation made by the Dzongkhag on the achievement of the 10th Five-Year Plan activities. The Dzongkhag has achieved only 78% rural electrification and 90% mobile connectivity. Samrup Dzongkhar Dzongkhag has also failed to achieve 100% rural water supply scheme and primary enrollment, which other Dzongkhags reported to have achieved. Gyeogs like Lowry and Serthe are yet to be electrified, and road to Lowry is still under construction. Both the electrification and road construction are expected to be complete by the end of this year. Samrang Gyeok still does not have mobile connectivity. Bhutan Telecom's regional manager said overall connectivity in the Dzongkhag will be increased after installing a mobile tower in Samrang. On Sunday, Lenchen inaugurated a new bridge at Langchenphu Gyeok. In the afternoon, Lenchen met with the people of Serthe and Lowry at Menjiong. It was there Lenchen explained to the people that the delay in electrification in the two Gyeogs was mainly because people had not come forward to provide labor to carry out the electrical poles to their Gyeogs. Lenchen said, "It is not the government that has failed, but the people and the local leaders." Later in the evening, Lenchen met with the civil servants, business community and the people of Jomosangka. Compiled for Kinsang Ishe, this is Pemal Harden for BBS News. Local government leaders in Jamgang said they should now be entitled to certain incentives due to their increased responsibilities. This was discussed during the recent Jamgang Dzongkhag Tsogdu. To enhance rural lives and empower rural development, a public benefit organization known as the Rural Education Foundation was launched in the capital on Thursday. It was inaugurated by the patron of the foundation, the Education Minister Thakur Singh Paudel, and the National Council Chairperson Namgye Penjor. Addressing the gathering, the Education Minister said the services provided by the foundation will go a long way in making a difference in the lives of every single child in the country. Meanwhile, a magazine on civil society organizations in the country was also launched. The foundation initially started in 2010 by giving support to the school-going children by providing financial support. So far, the foundation has supported over 150 students from the rural pockets of the country. The Langchenphu Bridge in Hunsi, which was under construction, has collapsed. The bridge was almost complete when it collapsed on the 15th of this month. Langchenphu is about 55 kilometers away from Hunsi town. In the past, with no proper space to park cars, parking used to be a huge problem for people visiting the Gasa hot spring. This, however, is not a problem anymore. Visitors to the Gasa hot spring now have a safe place to park their cars. The parking area in Bechu is only 20 minutes walk away from the Sachu.
I have heard of instances in the past of cars being damaged or stripped of the spare parts.
Tashi Chofel owns the land, which has been turned into a parking area. People can park their cars for nothing during day, but overnight parking comes at a price of 50 niltum a night.
Initially, I didn't charge, but people dumped waste in the parking area and I couldn't handle the amount of waste produced. I tried to stop people from parking their cars but couldn't stop them. I had to collect the waste myself. So later I decided to take responsibility for the cars and started charging 50 niltrum as fees for the cars that are parked overnight.
Some people think 50 niltrum is a little expensive. Others don't mind paying as long as their cars are safe.
As long as the cars are well taken care of, I think it's a fair deal. But some feel otherwise. As far as I'm concerned, I have no problem paying because I know my car will be safe.
The parking lot remains packed with 20 to 30 cars on an average every day. Compiled for Kinzong Tille, this is Pemal Hardin for BBS News. The results of the 2012 Bhutan Higher Secondary Education Certificate examinations were declared on Wednesday. From over 8,900 students who appeared for the examinations, at least 7,700 have successfully passed the examinations.
Arts student Namgyal Chuden from Ugin Academic in Punakha topped the examination with 89.25%. The second topper is Tikaram Acharya, a science student also from Ugin Academy with 88.50%. The third topper is Sonam Chetin, an arts student from Mutitang Higher Secondary School in Thimphu with 87.75%. According to a press release from Bhutan Council for School Examination and Assessment, the overall pass percentage was 86.78% and increasing of 0.73% from 2011. Meanwhile, in the capital, many students who had appeared for 2012 Bhutan Higher Secondary Education Certificate examination last year were seen flocking internet cafes to check their results. Details of the results are declared online at www.education.gov.pt. Students can also access their results through SMS using B-Mobile and Tashisel services. In the meantime, students can recheck their papers in only 2 subjects by paying 300 nultum per paper from 1st February till 4th March. The application forms will be available at Bhutan Council of School Examination and Assessment Office. Compiled for Dojongmo, Karmatsring, BBS News.
That is all for this week. Thank you for being with us. I am Pemal Hardin.